Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what day trading opportunities there are. You'll see my analysis and strategy, so if you're interested in that then stick around. Right, let's begin here on the daily. Today I'm going to do things a bit differently. I'm going to show you EU and DXY at the same time. So this screen down the bottom here is DXY. The reason why I'm doing that is just so we can see how they correlate a lot better. We can focus on the opportunities, maybe it'll shorten the videos too, and we can see how they work together and concentrate on our day trading opportunities in real time instead of flicking from each screen. So I hope this provides more clarity. Here on the daily chart, let's have a quick analysis of what happened. Yesterday you can see we had a big bullish doji finish on EU. Same thing on DXY, of course. We took out the previous weekly high and the previous weekly low on DXY. So what does that mean? That means we've taken buy side liquidity on this side, sell side liquidity on DXY. Also, I'm going to draw our attention into DXY a bit more right now because DXY also filled a daily and weekly fair value gap. So we had this daily fair value gap which we had only partially mitigated with this previous weekly low. We've now filled it entirely, and it was also a gap on the weekly chart. So you can see we've closed out rejecting those lows after taking the sell side liquidity from this area and filling that gap. So now what does this mean? So just on the daily, for me it would mean that we have the possible chance of going bearish on EU the next day and continuing bullish on DXY. Right? One thing to note, we still have this DXY area here which is unfilled, so it may head towards that, but just in the short term after taking the sell side liquidity we may have a reversal day and it may be bullish. So on the 4 hour here on EU you can see now we've actually broken this high and created a new high. I'm using this leg here. These are like the internal structures, right? High low, high low, high type vibe, or you can just skip that and the whole thing will just be, you know, one high there, pulled back into this previous unmitigated area here. We've almost mitigated about half of it. We have our leg here, a new bullish leg. As you saw on the daily, we've swept our previous weekly high. We've moved into this unmitigated fair value gap, taking some of the buy side liquidity there, and we're now in a premium, of course, of this leg. We still have our previous daily highs and previous daily lows intact, and it's similar with DXY. Of course, we've got this new bearish leg here. We've made a lower low, though of course we closed out above that low, sweeping it, unlike on EU. However, it's still a valid lower low to me. Some differences are going to be, we've already gone into this area on EU. We haven't quite gone into this unmitigated zone here. Don't know why that's over there. We haven't quite gone into this unmitigated high time frame POY here, which could be drawing price. However, at this moment in time, as I mentioned, after taking this previous weekly low and daily and weekly fair value gap, it looks like price may want to head into at least a premium of this leg here, where this 4 hour fair value gap may be drawing price to. Of course, the exact same situation here on EU. We have our bullish leg, we're in the premium. We have our discount higher time frame POY here, which is equivalent to this, and price may want to fill that. At least on the short term, for now, price looks to be moving bearish to get into a discount. Once we're in this discount here and premium here, we may align now to continue heading lower for DXY to fill this gap and for EU to fill the rest of this gap and possibly go up to this order block. In the short term, of course, we have the bearish EU and the bullish DXY. This candle, this is a trade and view issue where it doesn't move on the 4 hour in live for whatever reason, so we'll see it more on the 1 hour. So as you can see on the 1 hour, the price action's much more aligned. You can see this is moving live with this. We do have on the 1 hour on EU this 1 hour order block, which is there from yesterday. Price, of course, on DXY looks like it's going to enter its 4 hour fair value gap while we may still be in this 1 hour order block here. So it's something just to note on the hourly on EU, right, this may hold, this may cause some support, we don't know, right? But price has now made a new internal lower low. We can see here lower high, and it's heading towards this discount POI here on the 1 hour and 4 hour. DXY of course is doing the same, and as long as these POIs align, you know, we're in a POI on DXY, we're in a POI on EU, then we can look to see where the structure is going to go and where the structure is going to shift. Of course, we don't presume that this is going to hold, let's buy from here or let's sell from here, right? Because of, you know, the way price is going. However, we do still have this discount POI price draw on the EU. Price may want to head lower. So that would be the danger for any buyers around this area, which is why we wait for a lower time frame shift. I hope this has provided more clarity. Let me know in the comments if not, seeing both of these at the same time. So let's drop down to the M15 on both, and we can look at the day trading scenarios and opportunities we may have. Don't worry about this drawing to the left. This is from yesterday. It was just something I was monitoring. Obviously this was a 1 hour POI with a 15-minute order block within. Price was pulling back, but this is way after hours. I was never going to execute this. Just monitoring to see if it was to play out overnight. Asia, you can see here, we've broken down since Asia, not sweeping any internal buy side liquidity. Price looks to just be heading lower, of course, because DXY is heading towards this 4 hour fair value gap. So they are in sync doing the same thing. Of course, what I would like to see if we was to get into buy scenarios here, because we are now entering the discount of this leg, if there was to be a buy scenario, of course, we would even need, you know, price to make some sort of structure there, pull back and go higher, or, you know, just reverse here completely, you know, go higher, have a pullback, and then something like that. That would be the sort of buy scenario that I would be looking for. At the moment, we of course have the bearish momentum, right? And we are in the premium still, and there is of course a high time frame discount POI price draw below, which would act as a negative confluence. So of course that's why we wait for this switch in price action. For the sells, for, you know, going short, I think what we're seeing now is great. What I would have preferred to have seen is if we had come and taken out this area here first as an internal sweep of liquidity. That would have been nice if we took that out, broke down lower, and then pulled back. Obviously we don't have that scenario now, but I'll just draw it out anyway. That would have been a great sell scenario for me. To continue sells now from where we are, of course we have broken down, we've got this bearish order flow now. I wouldn't like to do it here while this 1 hour area is intact, but if price continues as it is, does this, and then, you know, we start getting our corrective pullback to a POI if it's left behind, and then go down and trade into that zone, then that also may look good and high probability. But of course, like I said, I would prefer if some sell side, some buy side liquidity was swept. You can see here internally there was a little bit. Now for some high probability buys, it would be great if we saw this. So we're in the discount over here and we'd be in the premium on DXY. So once we're in that premium on DXY, discount on EU, both would be high time frame fair value gaps. Price were to now come down to this area, find some sort of support, maybe sweep its own internal liquidity, doesn't have to, break above, and then we get our nice, you know, corrective pullback to this area. Then we can trade it up, right? Because that would be in trend, in this recent trend. We would have the higher time frame confluences on our side on both DXY and EU. We would be in the discount of those legs, right? And it would make a lot of sense. We wouldn't have as many negatives to trade against. It would likely be some sort of New York reversal at that point. But let's not discount the trading with the momentum and the order flow of the day. Okay, it's just these higher time frame POIs will now be a negative for shorts because now we're going into them, but we'd have to let price action show us that we're still ready to continue lower, right, with its price action, with this big bearish breakdown and then some sort of corrective pullback for us to short from. So those are the opportunities I see. I hope you like this different format of us using the DXY below here to demonstrate and keep us focused on the opportunities and one chart at one time. If you did like it, then let me know in the comments. If you didn't, remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.